In this servicing tutorial, we will go over how to replace the EMI filter and the MOVs. The EMI filter is mainly used to prevent our high-frequency content from getting onto the grid, but it also helps with controlling harmonics a bit. MOV stands for metal oxide varistor. This componentry protects against overvoltage conditions such as when lightning strikes. If an overvoltage condition is present, these varistors clamp down and hold the phase-to-phase and phase-to-ground energy. If that energy is held for too long, the varistors will need to be replaced before the unit can go back into service. Before performing any electrical work, ensure you adhere to all local codes, regulations, and safety precautions. Also, make sure to disengage power before moving forward. Step 1 of this process is to remove the terminal box power cover. By doing so, we expose the EMI filter and MOVs. For this step, you will need either a Phillips screwdriver or an 8mm socket head. In total, you need to remove 10 M5 screws, or 9 for 20 horsepower units. These 10 or 9 screws are on the power cover, or in other words, the larger cover without clear plastic for the LED fault lights. Once the cover is off, remove the plastic debris cover above the power components. If you have your input power lines connected to the input power terminal block, go ahead and unscrew each of the 3 leads from the power block and the ground connection. It also is helpful to have a magnetically tipped screwdriver for this process, as the screw can get lodged in different nooks and crannies. With all power and ground leads disengaged, use a Phillips screwdriver to remove 4 M6 or M4 screws holding the cover down. Here is a picture of where those 4 screws are. Then, using the same screwdriver or a 7 or 8mm socket, remove the 3 screws connecting the metal bus bar from the input power terminal block to the filter board. You now may remove the metal filter cover. Removing the filter cover will expose 3 or 6 M5 Phillips hex head screws and either 4, 7, or 10 M4 Phillips head screws. Using your Phillips screwdriver, remove all screws from the top board. 3 of them will be securing ringed connectors which feed into the inductor. After removing those 3, you can leave the formed wires where they are. Leaving the formed wires as they rest will benefit you later on during reassembly. After removing all 10 screws, you should be able to pull the top board off. This will expose 2 more boards where the varistors lie. There are 2 boards left which contain the MOVs. There will be at maximum 9 M4 screws to remove, 5 on one board and 4 on the other. Smaller frame sizes such as 20 horsepower will only have 3 screws for each of the smaller boards. Unscrew all 9 or 6 of these and remove each of the last 2 boards. At this point, the 3 boards are removed and the terminal box will look almost empty. Grab your new boards and replace the old ones with your new boards. Begin refastening all screws starting with the 9 or 6 M4 screws for the 2 smaller boards. Then replace the larger board that you first removed with a new one and use your M5 screws and M4 screws to reattach. You should have 3 M5 screws and 4 M6 screws left over, or 7 M4 screws left over, which will be used to fasten the metal input filter cover after the larger board is secure. Remember to reinstall the ring connectors coming from the inductor to the larger top board. With the top board installed, you can replace the metal input filter cover and use 4 M6 or M4 screws in the corners to secure it. Take your remaining 3 M5 or M4 screws and insert them through the hole in one of 3 bus bar connectors before fastening into the larger top filter board. Now you can terminate your 3 input power leads on the power block and connect the ground lead to the ground connection. One thing that is important to remember is the RFI screw labeled on the EMI filter cover must be removed when your power supply is a floating ground or asymmetric ground system. In this case, the RFI screw does disengage the MOVs when it is removed, but it's necessary to prevent damage to the power converter. With your EMI filter replaced and mains power connected to the unit, you may put the power and debris cover back on. For the debris cover, insert both of the longer sides into the slots on the interior sides of the terminal box. The power cover takes either a Phillips screwdriver or an 8mm socket head to fasten the 9 or 10 screws in place. Remember, the tip of the hazard warning triangles on the cover should point to the shaft. Torque each of the 10 or 9 M5 screws to 26 inch-pounds or 2.9 Newton-meters. You have successfully replaced the metal oxide varistors and the electromagnetic interference filter. We hope this video was helpful in your repair. As always, visit or contact us at our website for help, manuals, specifications, and more. Thanks for watching and have a great day.